Udah. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Associate Professor Dr. Ummi Naiemah Saraih as a HIT Center of Excellence for Social Innovation and Sustainability from Universiti Malaysia Perlis. For the topic today is organizational behavior. Today's session is being live streamed on Universitas STEKOM YouTube channel. And for our rundown today, we will start with class presentation by Dr. Ummi Naiemah, continue with Q&A session, time for picture and for documentation, and last time is closing. So we will start for the class today for Dr. Umi Nayema. You can start for this session today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Novita. All right, first and foremost, I would like to thank you all of the top management from STEKOM for letting me be in this session. Not only me, actually me and my team, and there are another 4 speakers from CoESIS, CoESIS. All right, so thank you very much again for let me in your session for visiting lecture for this year, and hopefully that my audio is clear, and I will try to share my screen now.
I apologize, Miss, for the your voice is more louder again because we can hear clearly. We
Yes, at
cannot.
my side also the audio is not so clear.
Yeah.
Let me try to make it in full volume first.
Thank you.
Can you now uh, obtain my voice clearly? Better now?
Yeah, more better.
Better now, okay. Okay, therefore, let me share my screen. I will put it into full view. A moment. Okay, again, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good evening to all and one of you. My name is Ummi Naiemah binti Saraih. Maybe this is my first time of meeting you all guys in STEKOM for this year. So as for today, I was given a topic in the organizational behavior or OB. Therefore, I choose one of the important and crucial elements under OB, that is regarding to the organizational power, organizational politics, and conflict management. And before that, I am the associate professor from Faculty of Business and Management and Business and Communication, sorry, from Universiti Malaysia Perlis, UniRank. And at the same time, I in charge to lead one of the Center of Excellence in UniRank that we call CoESIS, Center of Excellence for Social Innovation and Sustainability. Okay, to not further ado, I would like to share the table of content for today's session. As for sure, it will be started by introducing the importance of organizational power, politics, and conflict. And right after we have discussed all of the section here, we are going to wrap up and make a conclusion. Okay, now we go to the introduction. All right. If you see this picture, actually today we are going to talk about power, politics, and conflict. So how does one get things done even if one has formal authority? Okay, if you notice in this picture, okay, I was just going to say, well, I don't make the rule, but of course I do make the rule. Okay, normally in an organization, we maybe have bear in mind how any of the decision have been made, right? Because some and most of the time there were several type of committee that will do a discussion before provide with any kind of decision making. But in organization, the authority to make decision often rests in the hand of the chairperson or the chairman. of the meeting board. Therefore, although all of the meeting committee members are appointed to contribute for making a collaborative decision, each of the members' appointment is indirectly granted only after obtaining the chairman's agreement. Right. So this question is either we can avoid this situation. And as for me, the answer is contingent. Sometimes it is yes and sometimes it is no. But first we need to understand about the concept and context of power, politics, and conflict in management. Because as we all know, some of the time, there are several kind of person that come with several kind of personality that in charge in make the decision in the organization. So as for today, we are again focusing on these three elements under organizational behavior or OB, where we will specific and focus on politics, power, politics, and conflict. Okay, skills and best practices. How to turn your coworkers into your strategic allies. Okay, based on most of the research, they may found that one of the factor that may play a role in getting agreement among our colleagues is the mutual respect, or between boss and subordinate and superior is based on the mutual respect. And based on research also, another factor that might play very important is openness between those who are in the organization. And equally important, trust also is needed to be practiced in the organization. And the last one, mutual benefit that both of the parties can obtain regarding the decision which have been made. However, all of these factors actually may not be enough to turn co-workers to agree with our decision and judgment. However, some organizational behavior such as politics, power, and conflict might also play essential role in an organization before any of the decision can be made. All right. So this is how organizational power, politics, and conflict occur in the organization. If you look at the definition, there are various kind of definition given by various type of author. So I just would like to cite one of the definitions of organizational power. So organizational power is the capacity that you have to persuade the behavior of any others in your organization. In the simple word, it is how we can influence people, all right, to agree with us or to do or agree or to have a similar judgment with us. Meanwhile, organizational politics involve the use of power and social networking in a workplace to bring about behavioral changes and secure consensus within the organization or among individuals within the organization. So, in a simple word, organizational politics is how some of the tactics such as social networking, coalition, all right, and ingression can play some sort of role in the purpose of getting our self-interest done in the organization. Meanwhile, the last one, organizational conflict, is a state of discord because of the real competition or perceived competition of needs, values, and interests among people working together. It means that conflict might occur when there are disagreement between at least two people. All right. So given that power, politics, and conflict are three essential pillars on which the organizational activities depend, they play an essential issue in determining the shape and the surrounding of a specific organization. As we all know, this type of power, politics, and conflict might be occur in any kind of the organization. Therefore, we need to at least know and acknowledge or familiarize ourselves within the technique and tactics under these three elements in the organization or in the workplace. Okay, we move to the first section of this presentation. This is about organizational power. Okay, there are three key words that are closely related with power. Number one is acquiring power. It is gaining power. When a person powers increases if the things under control are important, rare and irreplaceable. So occurring power is not only happening among those who formerly hold legitimate powers, but also happen among colleagues in the organization. Therefore, among the peers, occurring power is also occurred. So the second one is abusing power. That may result from the excess of power, where power abuse is the use of power to exploit or to take advantage of someone. It means that abusing power usually happen among those who are holding formal position in organization right after they are appointed and hold one of the formal position. They might be sometimes abuse their power, and might be this can create any of the negative, can bring negative impact to the colleague or the surrounding in the workplace. And the third one, we call it empowerment. This is also very synonym in the organizational power, where employee employment entails delegating some decision making authority to others or to those, to sharing the power. Empowerment has the potential to improve quality, reduce cost, and also to increase job satisfaction and so on. However, empowerment is something beneficial to be implemented in the organization. All right, but there are several conditions that need to be fulfilled before the empowerment can be implemented. So let me share several of the important characteristic before the empowerment can be done in the organization according to the random empowerment model. So according to this model, the information need to be shared between the management and also employees, and the great autonomy through structure need to be done, and also let teams become the hierarchy. This model is introduced by John Randolph, and this framework emphasizes employee empowerment through shared decision making and increase the autonomy. It means that not only the management do or have the authority to make a decision, but they empower the decision making among person that they have appointed. And the model promotes a collaborative approach where employees are involved in the decision making, this fostering a sense of ownership when more of the people, they have the power to do the decision making. Therefore, by empowering individuals and team, organization using model aim to enhance satisfaction of employees, innovation, and the overall organizational performance and effectiveness. However, there are two ways of street that need to be done. Number one is management. In terms of management, they must be willing to allow employees to make decision. And in the term or in the part of employees, they must be receptive of the idea, and at the same time, they need to have enough training before they can be assigned or can be empowered by the management. So now we move to the next slide. This is about the sources of power. Based on several of the OB book, there are 7 types of power. The first one, we call it legitimate, followed by reward power, coercive power, expert power, informational power, reference power, and persuasive power. Okay, so we look at the legitimate power. This power encompasses our designation because of the situation of authority it holds. It means that this power comes with the administrative position that we hold in the organization. So one of the instances and example of legitimate power is the legal executive body. Okay, and the second one, reward power. Reward power is the capacity to compensate or satisfy few people's interest. This was allude to individual because of their authority over remuneration. It means that reward power might be engaged with the HR, okay, who are going to uh, make up or decide on the salary of the employee. So indirectly, they will have the reward power. So this can be better perceived by giving one model. For example, an administrator can compensate others for pay, advancement, downtime, and so forth. Alright, so the third one, we call it coercive power. Coercive power, this is a type of power of force that is needed to keep a proper progression of a work. So when the employees is not doing their task as expected, therefore the manager may use the coercive power. And to make it, to take the disciplinary action in the organization or at the workplace. Consequently, coercive power exists because of command over discipline. For instance, the coercive power of the supervisor can be seen in the type of fine downgrade over the long and so forth. In a meanwhile, the strike is one of the coercive power that come in the side of employees or subordinate. Okay, the next one is expert power. This is the power of the individual to impact others based on the expertise that relate with the knowledge, abilities, and skill that he or she have. So expert power normally is not come with the hierarchy in the organization. It is based on the expert of that particular person. The next one is informational power. Informational power also power that come with the authority in the organization. For example, the department who control many of the information, therefore they will have the informational power because other department will only rely on them to gain the information that may be private and confidential. So the next one, we call it reference power. Okay, reference power alludes to the relational of the picture of an individual among in the workplace. So the last one is the persuasive power, or maybe I need to elaborate more about the reference power. It means that that person have been referred by someone who have a good name. All right, so based on that references, indirectly that person have the power. Therefore, it is not based on himself or herself, but it is because of the reference that bring in into the organization. And the last one is persuasive power. This power exists due to the ability of person to use logic and fact to persuade someone, then make all of the statement or claim become sound judgment. Yet, in addition to persuade individual to settle on accomplish any kind of the task. Okay. Now, we move to the next slide. It is about differences between power and authority. Okay, as can be seen, power is a personal characteristic derived from knowledge and expertise. And power usually is neither legitimate or formal. Meanwhile, authority is a formal title or position conferred by an organization or another individual. Therefore, authority is legitimate and formal. It means that authority is come with the appointment to hold any of the formal position. Meanwhile, power is something that can be gained by anyone in the organization based on the 7 sources of power that have been explained in the previous slide. Because of its existence in the social structure of the organization, authority is becoming more recognized and known by the people as a source of power. However, power are more lasting compared to authority. This is because authority might be less lasting. It depends on the time or duration that person is holding the formal position. But some of the person, they might bring their authority or power that they gain during their hold the position in the organization after they step down from the position. But it is depend on people. But sometimes right after they lose the position, the power also is gone with the end of the appointment. Okay, now we go to the next part. It is about power and influence tactic. If you notice, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 types of the influence tactic. And I highlighted pink for the 3 type of influence tactic called consultation tactics, inspirational tactics, and also rational persuasion tactics. Okay, if you notice, I put it in asterisk. It means that these three type of influence tactic is most effective compared to another five. Whereas comparing all of these tactics, pressure tactics is the least effective. But before that, maybe I need to uh, share that influence tactic are the strategies and method individual employ to shape the thought, action, or decision of others to achieve a desired outcome. So they are using the power by bring up their influence tactic in an organization. The first one, coalition tactic. This tactic enlisting the assistance of others to persuade someone, clusters or individuals who temporarily come together to achieve a specific purpose. It means that they form a group. Okay, they form a group to make sure that their power go up. All right, and they will have more of the say because they form a coalition or a group. This is called coalition tactic. The second one, consultation tactic, which is effective. This is requesting someone assistance in resolving a problem. So they consult and give the logic and fact to ask the other party agree with any of the uh, statement or argument that made by them. The third one is the exchange tactic. This is offering something of value in exchange of cooperation. It means that I help you to do this and then you help me to do another task. The next one, we call it irritation tactics. Irritation tactics is putting someone in a good mood by flattering them. In Bahasa Melayu, sometimes we call it as bodek. Okay, irritation is something similar like bodek in Bahasa Melayu. So the next one, legitimacy tactics. This is to increase formal authority by citing rules, precedent, and official document. It means that they will try to put pressure by citing any of the rules made by the organization. The next one, it is called inspirational appeal tactic. All right, this is to gain commitment and appeal to aspiration, values, and idea. Okay, in this case, the person be the role model to show the good example, and at the same time, he used this kind of tactic to get the power or to influence others, okay, to agree with him or with her. The next one, personal appeal tactic. This one, requesting a personal favor or doing something because of the friendship. All right. Uh, that's why in the organization, sometimes we have the tendency to help our close friend more compared to the other colleague that we are not so close. This is because of the personal networking that we have with that person. The next one is pressure tactics. All right. This pressure is to gain influence, use coercion, and persistent follow-up or reminders. All right. And normally, as for this, is quite close with the legitimacy tactics. And the last one, rational persuasion. We try to persuade someone by using a logic and fact to ensure that he or she agree with us. Okay, that's all about the 9 influence tactics that relate with power in the organization. Now, this slide is about the preferred power tactic by influence direction. In general, there are 3 direction in organization where they can play or influence others. The first one is called upward influence. This is where a subordinate influencing a superior. Subordinate is subordinate influencing a superior. It means the employee influencing their management or boss. The second one, downward influence. Okay, this occur when a superior influencing a subordinate, and we are also having the lateral influence. This is occurred among influencing direction among employees or among peers. If you can see here, for the upward influence, one of the technique that is most usable is rational persuasion. Okay, actually it is depend on the direction in the organization on how we may use the influence tactic to get influence or to get known, okay, by our colleagues in the organization. Depending on the direction of the influence that is desired, different tactic can be used. All right. So this slide look that preferred power tactic by influence direction. For example, if you need to influence those above you in the organization, rational persuasion is the best method, as things like exchange, like legitimacy or pressure won't work because we, as the employee, might have less power base. Okay, so it is depend. This might be the guide for us to use the influence tactic, not only in organization, I think, but also in our daily life. So now we move to the next one. Okay, the second section is about organizational politics. It means that I am done about organizational power. So under organizational politics, first and foremost, we need to look what is politics. So politics is the action and behavior that people use at the work to gain advantage, to influence decision, and to achieve their goals. All right. So it often involves strategies like just now, the 9 strategies, forming alliance, using persuasion, and navigating social relation or personal relation within the workplace to shape outcome in one's favor. So it is in the purpose to be done to the attempt of social influence aimed at those with the power. And organizational politics involve use of power within the workplace to achieve changes that benefit the organization or individuals. Actually, if you do some observation, maybe among us in the organization, we can observe there are many kind of people that come with different type of personality, may use different type of influence tactic. For example, we might experience that when sometimes if we have a good post in the organization, there are more of the subordinate might come close to us. Okay, this is actually because they are trying to influence us based on their self-interest. Okay, in a workplace, organization power occurs when individual or groups deviate from the ultimate goals of the organization and they concentrate on their self-interest to control the organization and to influence or control others. So some of time we might lose the power if the authority gone. Okay, when we go to the end of the formal appointment, therefore we might lose our power. That may be because we are at most time practice with the type of influence tactic such as pressure, such as legitimacy, and also maybe reference and so forth. But if we are displaying the expert power, the reference power, the persuasive power, therefore this kind of power might be lasting. Thus, organizational politics involve intentional act of influence to enhance or protect the self-interest of individual or groups. So the next one, there are two causes of organizational politics. The first one is called the internal, and the second one is the external or organizational factor. In the place of individual factor, there are some of the factors such as political skill, internal locus of control, organizational investment, good networking, and success expectation. For example, political skills, it refers to the interpersonal style of people, including their capacity to connect well with others and monitor themselves, change their response depending on their circumstances, and inspire trust and confidence. But if you agree with me, political skills may be something that can be learned. However, the personality of someone might make that person will not display or engage that kind of political skills. All right. there are another person that will play politics in the organization, because most of the quotes say that the ignorance of politics in organization may jeopardize our career advancement. That's why, or that is the reason why there are still political skills have been engaged by most of the employees in the organization. So researchers found that people who are highly qualified in politics are more effective in their job, or at least influence the performance rating of their supervisor. That is very dangerous, because sometimes the judgment of the performance at the end of the year is not based on the task performance or the KPI which have been expected, but it is based on the political skills that have been played by that individual. Okay, so the next one, people with the high level of internal locus of control believe that they can change the organizational rules, okay, where they won't let things go. So they would expect those who exercise high control, internal control, to be more political. And the next one, organizational investment, is also linked with the political conduct. For example, if a person financially or emotionally heavily invested in that organization, therefore he or she is likely to engage in the political action, because he or he have invest something in that organization destiny. So the next one is good networking. Having a good networking and tie with the person who has the position power in the organization also can be seen as one of the individual indication to be excel in practicing the political skill in organization. The next one is success expectation. This is still under the category of individual factor, where this is also important. For example, if a person expect that he or she will change an outcome, he or she is more likely to become politically motivated. Okay, the next one is the organizational factor. Not only the internal factor, the organizational factor also be the causes of organizational politics. The first one is resource scarcities, or limitation of resource. Okay. If resources like financial incentive or promotion are limited, the organization is regarded by people as being more political, because that post is limited. More of the people will play more politics to grab that limited chances to be or to get promoted. The second one is role ambiguity. This also could link to the increasement of organizational politics, and role ambiguity can be impact in the performance assessment as well as the promotion. Okay, performance assessment in the organization should be very clear, should be implemented fairly to everybody in the organization. If there are ambiguity in any of the stages of doing the performance assessment, therefore the politic might play its roles there. It is the same case as promotion. We set some of the criteria to be promoted. Okay, therefore we need to refer to that metric and rubric without getting any of the political role to be played by the employees in the organization. And the last one, it is about the democrat decision making. Do you still remember about empowerment just now? So democrat in decision making happen when we give more of the power to more people decide in the organization. So it will be getting more political action, making leads you can imagine to more political action. Since many people have their say in the decision making process, more people can be influenced. Okay, so here is the two major causes of organizational politics, internal and also external factor. Now we move to the next slide. This is the negative effect of organizational politics. As can be seen, it can decrease in overall productivity, affect concentration of workers, spoil the ambience in the workplace, changes the attitude of employee, demotivated employee who are striving very well to get the things done, but but at the end maybe someone else who get the merit, right? Increased stress and also wrong information. Actually, organizational politics is not only created negative impact to the employees, but at the same time, it will also create a bad impact to the organization when it decreases the overall of the productivity of the company, for example. So now let us move to the next slide. This is in the term of employees' response to organizational politics. Okay, based on the research or based on one of the survey, most employees usually have low to modest willingness to play politics that have the following reaction to politics. Okay, the perception of politics in the organization, okay, the negative impact to the employee. Number first one, decreased job satisfaction. Next, increased anxiety and stress among staff, among employees. Next one, increased turnover. They would like to quit from that organization and go to another company. The next one, reduced performance. Maybe because those who get uh, acknowledged regarding the performance are not those among who are good in producing their output, but good in the political tactics. Therefore, most employees will not engage in a high level of politics and often react negatively to politics. Their reaction include decreased job satisfaction and so forth. Even though the given outcome for the individual employees who engage in politics may be favorable, it is often a negative impact for the group as a whole. A moment, a moment. I have a very important text to answer. A moment, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. So I continue. I proceed with the next slide. Okay, now how we can overcome with the negative effect of organization politics. Some of the textbook they might refer, we need to follow these 4 steps, all right, in order to overcoming the negative effect of organizational politics. Number 1, to initiate the thematic objective or the very strong and solid objective or goals for the organization. For example, everything in organization can be based on its objective or KPI or goals. So this objective should be a single objective, qualitative, time limited, and shared. Then right after we already have the objective, we number 2, create an array of defining the objective. It means that the goals or the roadmap that everybody agrees to in this step should be helped to achieve the thematic objective. And then we need to develop a standard operational procedure or SOP. So by developing this SOP, this should be done in each field to develop the best operational standard. So the goals should be shared across the organization so that they are known by all. So this is quantitatively can be seen by others, tangibly can be seen by others. And the last one is the build metric of measurement. So it is a key step in the process to measure whether the SOP is achieved. Okay, so it is depend on the SOP. So we need to make a metric. Instead of someone else pointing out what does not work, all of the people in the department will be informed. It means that all of the final say will be based on the metric of measurement. Therefore, any kind of political behavior don't have place to be played in the organization. Okay, I hope that these are clear regarding the step, how to affect the negative, to avoid the negative effect in the organizational politics. Now, we are going to look on several type of impression management. Okay, there are 8 altogether. Organizational politics and impression management. Okay, actually, these type of impression management can be played by us. So it depends on the situation and the self-interest that we would like to achieve. But normally, as for me, I will always try to make myself depend on the measurement that have been quantified by the organization. Therefore, we will try to put away all of the impression management. But at some time, the impression management is very important to be known or to be done by us. Okay, because at some time we cannot be so depend on the quality and quantity the tasks that we made in organization, but at some place we also need to engage ourselves with this kind of impression management. So we look at the first one, we call it intimidation. So this one person uses an attack to force others to follow him, and this is a form of bullying for the management of impression. So intimidation, it happens when people show their power to potential or to punish so that observer can regard them as dangerous. All right, so don't play with this person. Okay, this is how intimidation is done. And number two, we call it flattery. A person uses floral word or being so soft spoken, being so sweet talk, okay, to improve his position in the hope that others like him better. It involves supplementing others to make one's self appearance perceptive and pleasant. So flattery, most of the people, sometimes it come naturally within themselves. They are like to use sweet word and being soft spoken in communicating in the workplace. So the third one, appreciation. This is very easy to be done, and I don't think that this is not ethical to be done. So appreciation as an impression measurement tactic means expressing genuine thanks or recognition to positively influence others' feelings or action. So it could be good for someone to get the approval of that person and make him feel enjoyable. We go to the next one, self-promotion. This is occurred when a person show others his ability, knowledge, and success in promoting and improving his image. If you notice nowadays, most of us like to share some of our achievement in the social media. So this is a kind of self-promotion. So it exists when people point out their capacity or achievement so that they are considered to be competent by others. The next one, we call it supplication. Okay, this is a form of impression management, and this occur where a person show that his or her deficiency seem to be necessary or that others approve them desperately. Okay, this kind can be happen when someone they show their weakness, and on the sudden another second person come and try to fix the person A weakness. So it happens when people advertise their weakness, thus other person will think that they are needed in that situation. Okay, the next one, dressing. This is also a form of impression management. So it refers to the way an individual chooses and present their clothing and appearance. So dressing, actually, the way a person dresses demonstrate his desire or handle the person. Okay, sometimes it shows that they are so professional in the social context by looking at the attire or what kind of handbag that she bring, okay, that she use. So this is also how to do the impression management. The next one, we call it compliant with social standard. All right. So, for example, an employee remains late even though he has done his job because his boss is still in the office. But in a day that the boss is not around, he is the one who are usually go home early. All right. So the next one, behavioral matching. This is the technique that we try to involve or adapting one action, mannerism, and communication style to align with those people. We try to match ourselves with another behavior of others. So it's used to make a favorable or impression management. If a boss of an employee is a soft-spoken, then he will turn down our tone and naturally would like to be also a soft-spoken. So if our boss like to wear maybe a long sleeve every day, Monday to Friday. So we are also trying to make our behavior matching with the boss. So this is the last impression management technique that I would like to share with all of you in today's session. So we go to the last section, organizational conflict. But before that, I would like to tell you guys that I need to end our session early. I need to attend one of the important event later on. So I try to make it fast, all right? Type of conflict. Okay, there are two types of conflict, functional conflict and dysfunctional conflict. Functional conflict, of course, it is directly referred to the healthy type of conflict, the constructive agreement between two or more people that finally will lead to the good result for to the organization. Whereas the dysfunctional conflict refers to the unhealthy destructive disagreement between two or more people, and it takes away the focus of the employee, and they have the tendency to focus more on the personal conflict by themselves. So functional conflict, a key to recognizing a functional is origin related to cognitive circumstances, whereas dysfunctional conflict refer to the unhealthy and destructive agreement. It means that conflict is not only create a bad impact to the organization, but the functional conflict is something that is very good because it will create more innovative and it will create more uh, concrete or quality decision making. All right, because we are not having the conflict in the personal part of us, but we are more focused on the conflict to join our idea to make sure that we can go to a very good decision making. So we go to the next slide. Okay, this is classification of conflict. There will be four classification of conflict. Number one, it is about the intrapersonal conflict between the individual. Okay, within an individual where there is intrapersonal conflict. This is a type of conflict that is very common. It only in between our thoughts, value, principle, and emotion. For example, we have a conflict either we would like to wear clothes in yellow or red clothes to go to the office today. This is also a the intrapersonal conflict. The next one is interpersonal conflict. This conflict between two individuals, all right, essentially due to the differences in the individual. This is a type of conflict that usually happen not only in the workplace but also in the life, is in our daily life. So interpersonal conflict, we have various personality that usually lead us to the choice that we view that are incompatible. It means that different personality might have different kind of view or idea towards something. So these incompatible are based on the different upbringing for each of the person, all right, in the organization. So the next one, number 4, it is about the group conflict, intra-group. It happen among members in the group. And the last one, intergroup. It happened between a group. Okay, intergroup conflict between group occurs when there is misunderstanding between different teams in an organization. So, for example, an organization registration department may conflict with the Department of Quality. This is due to the diverse objective, diverse interests of the various group. All right. So, I think this is very straightforward. Therefore, we move to the next slide. This is my 27 out of 30 slide. This is about the conflict management style. Okay, according to Goldman, there are 5 conflict management styles called competing, collaborating, compromising, avoiding, and accommodating. These 5 conflict management styles can be played by any of us, but sometimes it will depend on the personality of us, and at the same time it is also depend on the situation that we are dealing. For example, conflict style is depend on the level of assertiveness and level of cooperativeness. If you can see here, the win-win situation where it has the high level of assertiveness and high level of cooperativeness is called collaborating. So this win-win strategy of collaborating management style is both assertive and both cooperative. The opposite of collaborating is avoiding. Avoiding have a low level of cooperativeness and also a low level of assertiveness. All right. So collaborating technique is the use in situation where exploring disagreement to learn from each other's side. So we want others to also have ownership of solution, and we need to work through animosity and hard feeling. Therefore, we try to find a collaborative agreement between at least two people that involved with that conflict. Okay, the next one, maybe we go for compromising. It is at the middle. It will bring the win some and lose some for both of the party that involved with the conflict. So compromising, uh, individual maybe attempt to work with the other to find a solution. But this is not a win-win, but some win some and another party is lose some. So this is also quite a good conflict management style that we can engage with. Another one, we call it accommodating. Accommodating is something that we try let the other party to win and I lose. It means that this kind of conflict management normally is played by the husband towards the wife. Normally, most of the husband, they will let their wife win. Okay, so they would not want to continue the conflict. They want to end the conflict, and they just make the another part to be the winner. So that one we call it accommodating. Okay, the next one is competing. It is a high assertiveness but low cooperativeness, competing. But competing is sometimes very important to be played among the management or the boss who need to make a very important decision. Sometimes they don't have to wait for the agreement of others because they need to provide the uh, very fast a solution. So I win, you lose. In this part, they can use their power, their authority to take the competing conflict management style. And the last one is avoiding, no winner and no loser. Actually, for this type of conflict management, there are no decision have been made. So they try to KIV the problems, and they just do not want to finish or settle the disagreement that happened. So these are also maybe dangerous if in future the issue is still not solved. So the party that involved with that disagreement may be burst and maybe explode in the future. But if the impact is not so strong, therefore we just try to use the avoiding style because we don't want to continue with the conflict. Okay, I think this is all regarding the slide for conflict management style. And now we go to the conclusion section. This is a very uh, only one slide for this. So a point to remember here, our discussion highlighted the integrated interplay of power dynamic, politics, and conflict. So it is about power, politics, and conflict. And actually in our life, in the workplace, sometimes there are several kind of influence tactics, several kind of impression management that can be committed by us, all right, according to the situation that we need to uh, confront with. And it is not always be political in organization is not good, but sometimes if we face with the situation, I guess it is okay allow ourselves to engage in political aspect, as long as it will not create any negative impact to others. Okay, so effectively managing these three elements is essential for organization success, emphasizing the importance of fostering open communication, transparency, and culture. So, by understanding and navigating the complexity of power, politics, and conflict, I hope that this small uh, knowledge sharing with all of you will added some of the information about these three elements in the organization. So, for those who have any inquiry, you may email me through this email address, or you also can contact me through my WhatsApp number. And I think this is all for my presentation today. Okay, I'm so sorry because I cannot uh, elaborate or explain it more because of the constraint of time. I guess this all. Thank you everyone, and back to Miss Novita. Yeah, I stop my sharing here, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for the wonderful presentation, Dr. Umi. And for all participants, if you have any question for the speaker, please add them to the chat or you can raise your hand. Okay, for our first question, we have the question from however, how does the leadership member exchange theory apply in multicultural situation in the work environment, and how can effective communication pattern influence work team dynamics within an organization? Thank you.
Okay, so sorry, let me look at the question first. Question number one from Miss or Mr. Rendraya. However, how does the LMX theory apply in multicultural situation in the work environment? Okay, all right. So LMX is one of the theory of leadership. So leadership member exchange. A simple word, this theory of LMX, it is refer to the mutual agreement between leader and the employees or the followers. So in this case, leader exchange, it means that if we would like to engage with the influence tactic just now, so there are tactics just now. It can be happen, but this LMX is referred to the theory. But of course, if we are the boss or leader that would like to refer to this LMX theory, at the same time, we can also engage with the influence tactic, especially in the exchange tactic, where what boss give to the employees and what he gain back from the employees. Okay, that one we can apply. But in the multicultural situation in the work environment, I'm not so understand about the question. But of course, if you would like to relate it with the multicultural situation, I mean maybe multicultural like us in Malaysia and in Indonesia, we have a multicultural. But when we go back into the organization, we are also involved with the multicultural. Then sometimes how far and how good that the top management can handle the multicultural situation by getting them all only on the same track to achieve the same KPI which have been developed or have been initiated by the top management. Okay, this one I don't know how to relate it with the multicultural, but of course culture also may play some sort of role. And how it relate to the today we have the topic about power, politics, and conflict. Okay, multicultural maybe it is relate also under the domain of organizational behavior, but it is something that quite out of our today's discussion. And the second one, how can effective communication pattern influence work team dynamic within an organization? This is also out of our today's discussion. Actually, effective communication also can be done by taking the influence tactic just now. Okay, it is depend on her on how to make our influence tactic effective, and it is based on us, our own personality, to suit ourselves to choose which kind of influence tactic or impression management that are best suited us, in order, not because of our own self-interest, but at the same time is to fulfill our responsibility and to achieve the KPI which have been expected by us. Okay. This one again, role of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is also, although it is under the area of the OB, but this is out of our context of today. Okay, emotional intelligence also, I am happy to look at this question. All right, but maybe we need to have another what we call it, another session. And for those who have a high level of emotional intelligence, or EI, not EQ. Okay, EQ, he is good in terms of answer in exam, but EI, how he is more intelligent in managing the conflict, or in managing the emotion of that person and their own person. So EI here is very important. Only the person with high level of EI can use a good influence tactic. Before they need to learn about influence tactic, of course they need to grab and to make sure that they have a high level of EI. Only person with EI can be so success in using the influence tactic and also impression management. I think that's all right, Miss Navi.
Yes, Miss. Thank you so much for answering.
So I hope that at least I can answer some of the question into this session, and I will share my slide with Miss Lovey through our WhatsApp later.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank-
you very much for the question, and all of the question actually have related to my topic of area, and maybe we can collaborate, and maybe we can conduct a research to look on how influence management can create impact on LMX, or how far LMX can influence on which type of influence tactic that exists in the organization. Maybe by have the empirical research, therefore, we will have a solid answer for that. Okay,
Okay.
Miss Devi.
Okay. Thank you so much for Dr. Umi. Before I close this event, for all participants, please open your camera. I will take a picture on the count of three. One, two, three. Okay. Another one. One, two, three. Smile. Thank you. Thank you for your keen cooperation. Finally, we come to the end of visiting lecture today. We would like to thank you for the wonderful information and sharing your knowledge. We hope this information will be beneficial for all participants. At least we hope to have more collaboration in the future. The visiting lecture for today and here we have to see you soon. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you so much for Dr. Umi.
All right. Thank you, Miss Navi. Thank you for those who raising the question. I am so happy to share all of this information with all of you today. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. Bye
All right.
bye.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Okay. Bye.